I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear. Almost every piece of media that Metal Gear has done, I've read or watched or played pretty much all of it except for probably Acid. I'm so excited about the movie, and I doubted Oscar Isaac's casting choice of Solid Snake at first, until I saw some fan art of him as Snake, and he looks so damn beautiful. I mean, come on, just look at this man. Ooh. I even have a diamond dog tattoo that I got with a couple of friends that, without a doubt, I would die for. Because the speech Venom Snake gives inspired me to seek that brotherhood with my friends. I believe in the reasons why the soldiers, your brothers in arms, give up on life without saying a word for you to live, to continue on and fight for what they believe is right. The boss's words resonate hard.
What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? The mission or your beliefs?
It's important to remember that the reason all the Diamond Dogs, Militares of Frontier, even the people Snake recruited during Portable Ops, all fought because Snake opened their eyes to a reality that they believed in, and that they believed in you, the player, Snake, Big Boss, and by association, Venom Snake. I'm a huge fan when it comes to Metal Gear, and there is a Metal Gear game that just died before it even got the chance to prove it was fun. By the words of the boss, it'll be loyalty to myself. Metal Gear Survive. Look, this is all personal opinion, and you may think I'm delusional. I wouldn't even argue. I'd probably say you're right. I won't try to convince you or to change your mind. I won't even judge you for disliking it, because a lot of people did. But I do think a lot of people also have a mentality where they hear another review and immediately hate on it, because someone popular just said so. You can hate something, don't get me wrong, just have your own reasons to do so. It might resonate with some other review, but at the end of the day, have your own criteria and hate it because you want to hate it, not because someone else told you to, is what I'm trying to say. Again, it's all in my personal opinion, but what this review will try to do is expose the good, the bad of the game, and try to weigh them against each other, and see if the game deserves the criticism that it got. I know that there will be backlash, but that's alright. The point is to expose the game for what it is. Metal Gear Survive starts with a destroyed mother base from Ground Zeroes, and a bunch of soldiers and the UN looking to recover all the bodies from the soldiers who were lost in battle. The night where MSF mother base gets attacked. You play as an MSF soldier, one that was recruited during Peace Walker or in between that and Ground Zeroes. Then you see someone going through corpses, and as he reaches... Yeah, you can name your character and it shows on the clipboard. I think that's hilarious. No matter what you choose, it looks so out of place. Clearly you were a member of the combat unit, a fighter. The man says it's good to see you and then asks for forgiveness. Now we toggle between flashbacks of that night and the soldiers carrying bodies to drop them into the ocean. You see Snake in action, and you, an underdog, watching the hero try to save everyone, get inspired to continue on with whatever is going on. And your skills from being in that combat unit show. You save Snake from being shot down and know that your end will come shortly after. Then we hear that we are the key to everything. The game starts off pretty cinematically. Sadly, it immediately drops the quality because of budget reasons. Metal Gear Portable Ops and Peace Walker did it, but they had a good art direction, due to them being low budget. This one just clearly ran out of budget. All the next cutscenes are done through CCTV static, cameras, codecs, and Virgil, who I will talk about later on the video. We hear that we are infected, and therefore the best option to carry on a mission on the other side. Blah 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 blah, background exposition that might come in handy for the story later on, and then a portal closes in our eyes to what seems to be something akin to the Upside Down from Stranger Things. All of the biblical talk and good luck, the person in charge of the operation, telling us this place is called Dite, really solidifies that this is basically hell. The reason why is because Dite is the name of a city in the 6th circle in hell in the Divine Comedy, where a bunch of heretics and peasants lay on fiery tombs and they worship their dark lord. He also tells us that our Beatrice is waiting up ahead. Beatrice was the name of the lady Dante rescues in this particular circle. All very cool nods if you ask me. I wonder if setting your name to Dante would make something special happen. I'm guessing not, but let me know. Your character is clearly not Big Boss. He gets wind-ups constantly. You encounter an X-12 soldier, the same who attacked the night that Mother Base was sunk. This looks cliché, I'll admit it. I can guarantee you this guy is a zombie. Maybe if we didn't know what the game was about, right? Anyways, someone interrupts us and gets attacked, and we save him and he saves you, and well, it's a mutual understanding that we all need to get the heck out of there. Huh? Damn, they are clearly strong stakes. It presents an immediate threat, quickly something dangerous. Mostly if you get overrun. We get more exposition, but really nothing that interesting. We just know that Wanderers were once human and now they destroyed this dimension. A separate dimension is what Good Luck calls it. We are introduced to crafting. Yeah, okay. People really hate it, and I mean hate it. The idea of spears and barricades from Metal Gear game. Tell you what, I understand 100%. This really doesn't feel or play like Metal Gear. Not for the most of the game at least. What this is hard to tell, but this game is an RPG mixed with a tower defense game. It barely shows during the single player story game itself. It just feels like a very slow paced RPG, and I get why that can be annoying to most. And I'll say, if the game was advertised like that, I guess people would have known and therefore less backlash. I won't lie, I agree 100% with you. Instead of that, it was advertised as this Left 4 Dead experience with a Metal Gear twist on it. Wouldn't that have been incredibly dope? Yes, it would have. It would have been mindless fun. So, apart from the story, imagine if the name of the game is just Survive, and it's done with a Fox engine. I say that because I think a lot of the problems with this game come from having the Metal Gear name. The only moments where I can think of it being a Metal Gear is during the beginning, where we see the new Mother Base, the Diamond Dogs one, some point on the middle, and during the end. Whatever this is, don't forget the game is not really canon, and it does happen in an alternate universe, because screw you, Metal Gear is not complicated enough. Mother Base seems to have the dog on the Diamond Dog kind of washed off, like it has been there for some time. But wasn't this supposed to be an alternate dimension? Anyways, we flash back to the night again, and we see a wormhole opening up right after the base got attacked, and we even try asking the boss for help. Sadly, they don't hear or see us. This is where they blew their big budget, huh? This is where we actually died and where we lost our arm? Oh, so the infection allowed us to regrow the arm. Okay, that will be pretty much pointless. And somehow they revived us too? Also pointless, just more background exposition. It's interesting, but is it really that important? Not for this video. For example, our arm will sometimes act out on us and glow, because the infection works like that, I guess. Whatever. What we do know is that these wanderers possess some type of energy that can shift the powers of balance, called Kuvan? Kuwabara. They really can't make up how that word sounds. Again, that is actually a little bit Metal Gear, trying to always get the upper hand on other countries. Let's skip forward to get to another very controversial decision this game did. Virgil. Who, by the way, is another reference to Dite and the Divine Comedy, or Dante's Inferno, who acts as a guide for Dante, explaining the world, the tortures and the punishments. As soon as you arrive, this AI machine, like the one you see in Metal Gear Sick, rolls towards you, scans you, flies and reboots and asks for the device. I personally believe the voice actors did an incredible job with what they had, both the female and the male voice actors. but people got really pissed off at them and the way they talked. By the end, Virgil is going to sacrifice itself to help you complete the mission. I was sad about it, but not devastated. And my friend Cannibal was actually asking for it to do it already because he couldn't stand it anymore. The main problem with the character of Virgil is he talks too much. Whether it's on cutscenes or you wandering around from the dust, it continuously reminds you of how you need to take care of yourself.
Supply yourself with oxygen by using Kuban energy. You can supply yourself with oxygen from your iDroid. Pay attention.
There you go.
Until you're out of gas. Being dehydrated will affect your physical abilities.
And they also left the most important exposition for Virgil to give. It can and will get annoying throughout the game. For me, my brain was able to just shut it off. I would hear the explanation but no longer retain the way Virgil spoke at any point. Okay, we get sent to pick some materials for the camp, and this is where we get introduced to fencing, or whatever you call it. Most of the mechanics of the game will be putting up fences and stabbing enemies through it. You don't have to do it, sure, but either that or jumping onto something they can't get to is where you will have an easier time. I also understand people complaining about the fence, but the fact is you don't have to put up fences necessarily. You'll have a harder time, but if that's what you like to do, go ahead. Also, you can play around with the fences. Would you rather have a fence between you and the enemy, or would you rather have a fence between the enemy and the objective? It gives you multiple ways to play this, especially at the endgame, and endgame is important, and I'll show you why later on as well. We first rescue a nurse and activate a teleporter that will let us move through the map easier, and see a big Cthulhu looking who Virgil refers to as the Lord of Dust. Metal Gear 5 has a huge reference to The Lord of the Flies by William Golding, one of my favorite books, with Eli being the leader of a group of kids. For some reason, I always thought The Lord of Dust to be somewhat of a reference to The Lord of the Flies, but in reality is more of a reference to The Lord of Darkness, according to the same Lord presented, with it being the sixth circle of hell and all. We also get introduced to the idea of leveling up with this Cuban energy. I don't want to say it, but we all know this is very Souls-like. Sorry, not sorry. The Cuban energy. You gather by killing enemies, allowing you to improve your survivability by learning new attacks, techniques, boosting your health, stamina or damage. It's an RPG, since you will also be improving your weapons and defenses over time. And then you go to get a wormhole digger, a device capable of opening up wormholes to get materials, or as Reeves puts it, go back home. This is where the game really shines. Sure, it's silly as heck, but isn't all of Metal Gear extremely Yankee? This is the device and the mechanic that lets you progress through the game, the way online works, and the reason why I call this game a tower defense game. It's honestly just mindless fun to activate it. Defend against hordes with your defenses, get better stuff and repeat. Something I told my friends while playing this with them is I felt like this game could have used an app or something similar to control where you place your defenses through your phone. Like if you were playing a game in your phone when sitting on the toilet. I do consider it to be more of a game where you are just not paying that much attention unless you are at the end game co-op missions, which once again I'll talk about later on. We save more people, no one that important except for a kid named Chris.
God, a little careful now, man. Just drop him.
The kid is not able to walk, so you build him a wheelchair, and now we are told that we can create a wormhole to get us out of there, but that we will be attacked. Gruen also informs us that Goodluck has committed suicide and that he was keeping us in detail on purpose. And Gruen tells us Goodluck was a traitor and that Virgil was tampered with by Goodluck. The one who attacks the base after a couple of wonders is no one else but the Lord of Dust. So we run and rescue Chris. and also managed to jump into the wormhole with the help of Virgil. You good piece of metal chunk, you. So, are we home? Was that it? Nope, you've got to rinse and repeat the same thing, but now in Africa. And apparently the Lord of Dust will come to us in a few days, so better hurry. Goodluck has a pre-recorded message for us, where he explains that nothing has gone wrong. Everything is going according to his plan. Everything was set up by him, and you traveled here to recover the weapon that will allow us to kill the Lord of Dust. He knows he must be hated at this point, but that you will understand at some point in the future. Virgil says Gruen was the one who really betrayed you. He wanted to secure the Lord of Dust to gather and farm all of the energy, so now we try to find this weapon. Nothing that interesting here in Africa. Stuff happens, but it's pretty mage, except for a couple of things. And stiff shitheads, whatever the fuck they are.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god.
1. Your fellow comrade is infected and says he is the future. He is improved, better. He wants the world to become what he has become. This is important for a future explanation of what the Dust and the Wanderers really are. It's something that we were warned about on Metal Gear Solid 2. Apparently, what these Wanderers and infected are nanomachines.
Nanomachines, son.
Not any kind of nanomachines, AI-controlled nanomachines. And what happened is you didn't travel to another dimension, you time traveled to the future, where this AI took control and infected everyone. I think that is the most Metal Gear the plot really gets. Think about it. Like I said, it's something that AI tried to warn us about in Metal Gear Solid 2.
We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind? All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth. We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
That's what it means to create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea? Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit of soul-searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will. You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
Now, we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course.
It wanted total control over the way the humans acted, thought, and etc. And second thing that happens in Africa is you find the weapon, it's Metal Gear Sahelanthropus. But Dilsak, why is it there? I hear you ask. Oh, my boy, I say. Because Metal Gear Solid 5 was unfinished, but it depicted how Eli loses to Snake with the Sahelanthropus somewhere in Africa. Don't believe me? Well. The unfinished mission cutscenes are right here on YouTube, and you can see it by clicking the card that I've added right now, or by what I'm showing on screen. So yeah, basically Metal Gear Survive also confirms that that particular scene is technically canon, which helps solve a lot of Metal Gear 5. Thank you, Metal Gear Survive. So yeah, this game does use a lot, and I mean a lot, of assets from Metal Gear 5. So much that the infected looking like 1980 soldiers doesn't really make sense because, like we have established, this is the future, somewhere in the 22nd century. But can you blame the developers for trying to save some budget there, knowing how Konami was not only pressuring them but milking the poor developers? It was almost as unfinished as Metal Gear 5. And yes, that is also another very good point that you make, my fellow Angry Man. Konami definitely got their filthy greedy hands on a game like Metal Gear 5 and Metal Gear Survive. And the microtransactions are something that I wouldn't even dare to try to defend, but I heard a lot of people who hated the game complaining about how much they hated not being able to make other saves unless they pay for it. Huh? What? I mean, let me ask you something. If you hate something so much, why do you want to play it from scratch? Wouldn't that just contradict the entire idea of you hating the game? And although paying for saves is a big dumb stupid idea, you can create more saves with the beautiful feature of game sharing. Whether it's on Xbox or Steam, you can share your games, create a new account, and start new save. Now, I don't really know if PS4 allows this since I didn't have one at the time and I never got in the game for that particular console. The rest of the transactions were really just customizable stuff such as Grey Fox heads and simple stuff like that. There is no PvP, so people who called it pay to win were really just trying to skip over some missions, since everything you can get, and it's not customization, you can get without paying any extra money. So all of the microtransactions complaint was really just uncalled for, in my opinion. Where were we? Oh yeah, you retrieve Sahelanthropus, go back to Afghanistan, and first fight your infected comrade mentioned before, and then Virgil also gives some exposition as to why he is divided into a separate personality. Basically, Virgil was infected, and to stop the infection, severed the infected part, creating a new personality. This is also where we learn that Dite is not a separate dimension, it's the distant future of the 22nd century, and that the world has been destroyed over and over in a time loop by the Lord of Dust, so it can keep feeding from the past. Are you following yet? We learned that its creation can be tracked through the invention of medical nanomachines, but it's unclear how many cycles the Lord of Dust has done this, effectively making himself a reverse Flash type of time paradox, and that the best time to destroy it would be here, on this particular moment where he is, quote-unquote, the weakest. We also learned that killing it means we might not be able to go back home, so Virgil will try to stay and destroy it as you and your fellow men try to escape. Now, there are 11 days left before he comes back and travels to the past, so before we go through the next fight, we get Chris the child back home. And oh, well, this is interesting. A choice. There are two endings to this game. One where you step into the wormhole and get sent to Afghanistan. You become one of the MSF Wanderers. That's right, one of those soldiers that apparently survived the attack 9 years ago and is eventually rescued by Snake. Wow, there are actually a lot of theories that point that this might be the canonical ending to Metal Gear Survive. The crystals on the Wanderers looking a lot like Snake's horn, the fact that MSF Wanderers are called Wanderers, and even move like the Wanderers on Metal Gear Survive. It all could point out that your character was just insane and going through some stuff. If you stay and fight, however, it'll be a huge fight. This actually felt like a ramp up on difficulty. You can complete several waves before to get better weapons and make it a tiny bit easier, and I cannot recommend it enough. And then you can use Sahelanthropus railgun, to shoot the very obvious soft spot on the Lord of Dust. But wait! He stands up, and Virgil sacrifices itself and introduces the Lord of Dust to the concept of death? Yes, that's right. The very calm and sophisticated AI nanomachine particulars thingy gets beaten by introducing the concept of death, and then you can shoot it with a railgun. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, the story is a mess, but again, it's nothing I wouldn't expect out of Metal Gear. Oh, you are still doubting this very Metal Gear-esque? How about this? Chris, who is now back home, is revealed to be Good Luck and somehow still knows what's going on back on Dite and how he was never able to get us out of there. And how he actually ended up in 1943 and not in 1980, where he should have gone. For 30 years he has tried to get us back, but instead we'll be lost in there forever, but as heroes, since we have killed the Lord of Dust. And that's the end of Metal Gear Survive. Yeah, that's the end of it. We do hear that history was changed. Good Luck no longer kills himself. There was no wormhole over the mother base, and now Good Luck will try to get us out of there. But that never really happens. Good Luck just talks about building a better future and making sure that technology running amok us doesn't become an issue. A very Metal Gear-esque sentiment, just like how anti-nuclear it is. Wouldn't you agree? Now let's briefly talk about the multiplayer. Since the story is nothing particularly special, I think the game shines when you just have casual fun with your friends on this game. Me and my friends played this game for a while, and we were having fun until we tried the hardest difficulty possible. Why? Well, it's funny, you see. It's fucking impossible, it's just stupid to even try with a 4-man squad that's fully loaded with the best of the best gear. Oh shit. This is not looking good. Is this the second round? Yeah, it's the second one. Jesus. You really don't hurt Wanderers nor the special type. They destroy all barriers and turrets with a couple of seconds, and they don't really give you enough time or Cuban to even call the big weapons, like Metal Gear Ray or the Shagohod on time. They will most likely target the Digger and destroy it quickly. So what we did was, we modded the game. Yeah, the servers are so dead that you can play solo or with friends without a problem. And it doesn't have any type of anti-cheat, so you can just mod the game to whoever you like. What the fuck?
I don't know.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I think we shouldn't worry about level 60 zombies with a 462 on our team. We gave ourselves infinite and unbreakable stuff, and we started having a ton of fun on the hardest difficulty, and also getting more stuff for our camp, or the next times we played. Am I saying that the game requires money to have fun? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is, that's the way we enjoy the game the most. Us. Because that's the way we like to feel when we play games. And we aren't ruining anyone's experience. There is no PvP, like I said. If we turn the difficulty down, we also turn the cheats off. Because that's how we enjoy it. A challenge on hard and goth mod at extreme difficulty. And at the end of the day, games are meant to be enjoyed, and as long as you are having fun with it, you can't let anyone tell you that you're playing it the wrong way, unless you are ruining someone else's experience. And if you think
a game that's not for everyone isn't a game that should be made, in my opinion.
Damn, I'm just sorry that you can't enjoy something as brainless as a mediocre game. Also, if you wish to play the story in co-op, somewhat similar to what was originally advertised, fear not. Someone was working on a mod for that too. They stopped progressing through it about 5 months ago because they had a falling out, which is a shame, but it goes to show that there are dedicated people to this game. You can still download it on the official Metal Gear Survive Discord, and it's a jankier version, but it works for the most part. I actually need to go try that out with some friends after this. So, did Metal Gear Survive deserve all of the hate it got? Was it as awful, soul-sucking succubus of a game that everyone said it was? No, not really, no. At least not to me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed its quirkiness and repetition because I like seeing progress on a game, and going from a wooden spear to a flaming jet propulsed hammer feels like progress. I enjoy the Metal Gear quirkiness that it had, and even though the story is whack, I can safely say it feels pretty Metal Gear-ish. The gameplay is the one thing that is definitely not Metal Gear, and where I think it would have shined the best if it didn't have the Metal Gear name for a quick cash grab. I seriously recommend if you've never gotten around to play Metal Gear Survive. You can buy it for about $3 on the link on the description and activate it on Steam. If you don't want to even give it a try, that's also fair. I just hope I was able to bring some more clarity to this game, since I know most of the people who hated it never even played it. Anyways, do you agree? Do you not? I'm open to discussion. If you would like to tell me your opinions, talk about it on the comment section. I'd be more than happy to see what you have to say. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll go try that multiplayer mod now. Later.